Good morning, world. Today I want to talk about. Let me get some lights on. Today I want to talk about the psychological impact of atomic bombs. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I mean, it's hard to deal with the reality of what we are faced with right now. I mean, in many ways, in many ways, we are all facing this together. Like, oh shit, there's like tons of nuclear bombs like all over the world. Like now there's like this, Ukraine war happened and everybody's just psychologically damaged, like terrorized by what's going on right now. And it's not fun. I mean, it's not fun to deal with the psychological outfall or like there's many aspects to this of what's happening, but today I want to focus on the psychological impact. I'm going to say impact of nuclear bombs, atom bombs. Um, and I mean, I think we're all aware now that two atom bombs were dropped in the past on Japan. I mean, that's crazy. I want to look at it purely from a psychological standpoint of like nothing mechanical, um, nothing related to anything except for like conscious energies and how it happened from a purely psychological standpoint. And I'm going to make the assumption here, not assumption, but it's not even an assumption. It's like everything is consciousness. So I'm not making an assumption when I say that I, you know, that we can look back in the human psyche and what did the atom bomb do to us as humans? It's like it served a particular purpose in the sense that I mean, this is going to be hard to face, so like brace yourself because it's like how did this work from a psychological standpoint? Like I believe things occur inside of us first. Like a war occurred inside of us before, which was like terrorizing us as a species, and then as a like the war happened before the war happened. You know what I mean? Like talking about World War II or any war, anything that happens is it happens inside of you first, and then it happens. You know what I mean? It's like everyone was terrorized inside before they let it out. It's like you become angry, and then you act upon your anger. I mean, you had that choice though. We all had that choice, but we're part of this world, and wars have happened, and terrible things have happened, and they continue to happen. So, what can you do? It's like realize. I mean, like realize the terror that the atom bomb caused in the past, psychologically speaking. Like it literally fractured the human psyche, and was I mean, like you can bring the history back to life just within yourself. Put yourself empathetically in the place of all these people that were a part of the war. That are a lot of them. I mean, there's some people that are still alive that were part of World War II, but not many. But I mean, it was devastating to the future. I mean, I don't think we would have become what we are today without World War II. I mean, there's no way. So, I mean, if anybody's happy about who they are, in part, you have to give some amount of, not credit, but some amount of you was created by overcoming the um, the history of ourselves. Like we have to overcome our history in order to get through to ourselves again. It's like we lost ourselves when the atom bomb was dropped. Like it's still, however many years ago. How long ago was that? Like I mean, I think it was 1945 or 1944. So that was like um, from 1945. I'm gonna say 1945. I think because it ended the war and everybody was too psychologically terrorized to face any bigger enemy. I mean, like, fuck, after an atom bomb was dropped, then, you know, then you can't face any bigger darkness than, like, the instant killing of, like, however many people, like 1 million people or something, like an entire city just devastated. So you can't face any darker reality than that. But from a psychological standpoint of, like, how did this affect everyone? I'm not even looking at it from a psychological standpoint. I'm trying to connect the psychology with the physical nature of reality, because that's where the disconnect actually happened. It was like we're doing stuff, but we're looking past ourselves. And then after that bomb was dropped, I mean, it's still like it still causes pain. Like, the pain still exists from that. I don't know if it'll ever go away. Maybe eventually, but the pain of that event still causes pain and is still alive within everyone's memory if they look back into themselves and into the past of their being, which is the past of all of us. So it's still alive, that pain, like, in a real way. You can look back and see that it's alive. It's like the pain is alive because the people are alive. People who actually experienced it are still alive. And the accounts are still alive. Like, it created a hole in the human memory, in the human psyche. Like, there was tons of people living there, and then poof, gone. Like, all those people are just gone. So, I mean, that's pretty fucked up that happened. And what else? I mean, it's messed up that happened, and it's also messed up that we haven't really been able to face what actually happened. Like, my theory is it was all psychological. Like, I don't know if I believe in matter itself. Like, everything is just a dream. Matter is what really, and time is what really heals us. But if you look beyond that and see that it was something that we brought into reality. I mean, like, we were out of control in the past. Like, we had no idea what was happening, and that confusion led to our creating bigger and bigger bombs, essentially, like real bombs. But I mean, looking into I don't know, it's from a purely psychological standpoint, it's kind of like, just to encapsulate this in the best way possible, to bring it back to a human level, because an atom bomb isn't comprehensible by most people. It's like, I can't even comprehend that level of destruction. So in order to do that, I want to try to frame it in a way that's like, that brings it back down to a human scale that's more digestible. Because if you think about it like this, like, a little girl was in Japan and she was just wandering around the streets. She had no idea that a war was ever going on. She had no idea. And I mean, like, she had absolutely no idea. She was just, like, wandering around her whole life. She was maybe like 12 years old or something, and she was, like, just going about her business and being a kid. Maybe she had, like, a village somewhere, and she was, like, growing crops with her mom, and her name was Hope, and she was just walking around the city, and then all of a sudden, like, just to instill fear into the human psyche, and Japan was America's enemy. What did we do? We literally took that little girl so off guard with the destruction of, like, and then the atom bomb dropped directly on her face. Like, she was just annihilated, and she was and that devastated the human psyche. Like, that little girl didn't exist anymore. She was obliterated, and she was gone forever. Like, obliterated, gone forever, and that's who the bomb hit. Like, it hit a single little girl, and that single little girl was the center point of the entire bomb, which also killed like a million other little girls and people. But the little girl is like, okay, she's like an innocent person who didn't see this coming at all, and then all of a sudden she was just annihilated by America, who thought we have to instill fear into our enemy. I mean, these forces are not kind to anyone. I mean, that's a terrifying amount of force and power that we exerted on that little girl. I mean, just say that it was just to say that it was a little girl, like, that brings it back into perspective of everyday life. Like, that was just a little girl. Like, nobody wants to kill a little girl or drop an atom bomb on a little girl, but we didn't just drop an atom bomb on a little girl. We dropped an atom bomb on the whole city, but the psyche reverberated as though it was a little girl. Like, a little girl died, but it was more than a little girl, you know what I mean? So the scales here are strange because you don't realize what actually happened until, I don't know, until you're comfortable realizing what happened. But it's devastating. If you look into the truth of our past, it's just like, you can bring this stuff to life, though. You can try to bring like the psychological impact to life and try to heal it. And I mean, everything just happens when it's meant to happen, I suppose. But I mean, the repression that we experienced after that, after the dropping of the bomb, was like the internal repression and suppression of our shadows. I think, like, of our um, of ourselves, or of our we just repressed ourselves very purely. Like, we didn't let ourselves do anything like that again, like, for the next 75 years, or however long it's been. Like, we were never going to repeat that again. It was like, this is going to be the one thing that scares us all. I mean, it scared us all into suppression, that's for sure. I mean, America scared Japan into suppression. I mean, like, Japan was like fierce warriors. They knew that they were facing the enemy, and like then they found an enemy that was bigger than they could comprehend, which was the devastation of millions of people, like, instantly. Instant vaporization of a million people. I mean, that'll do it. I mean, that'll then you can do whatever you want, because that's terrifying to think of. Like, and I don't think it'll ever end. There's like reverberations psychologically. Like, the event occurred, and then it occurred twice. I guess it was like, in a real way, like, the two bombs dropped, and then the psychological reality formed around them almost instantly. It was like, boom, oh shit, how are we going to deal with this outfall of like terror that just came out of nowhere? It's like, we still haven't. Like, we still haven't dealt with that as a people. I don't know how we will. Like, slowly but surely, you have to realize the power that we possess, the power that we continue to amass in different countries, like nuclear weapons. We have atom bombs. We still have them. I'm pretty sure we still have them. They're like, there's thousands now. So now we have the capacity to. I don't know why we did that. Like, what were we thinking? Instead of making less bombs after that happened, we repressed ourselves and said, all right, we're going to be prepared for the future. But what are we going to do? We're going to make more. It's like, no, you're clearly still insane. You haven't faced the truth. You haven't faced the truth of reality if you're just going to go out and do that. Because now we have thousands of bombs, like, apparently placed all over the place. Like, I don't know if that's true or not because I haven't seen them, but I believe it's probably true. There's people all over, just they continue to make bombs, like missiles, bombs, everything. Like, the amount of firepower we currently have is. I've never seen anything like it. I don't see any. I don't see anything. Like, I don't want to know. I don't need to know. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I know the truth, but um, the point is that the psychological impact was kind of like a black hole within consciousness that um, that was just that appeared out of nowhere. Like, all those people were lost. It's about the people. Like, if you think about it, just about the people. There's no other forces at play. It's just the communication between people was so irrevocably damaged, which was just like two forces showing up and saying America and negative force. Like, that's what I was taught. But then I found like a deeper reality of how it affected everyone. It continues to affect everyone, and it's just really sad to know that that's the truth of what actually happened. Um, and it's not easy to face because it'll never be easy to face. It'll just be shit that actually happened. Like, more than that, though. I mean, that was like, that was a long time ago. That was like a long time ago, but that's another thing. It's like we put as much time as we could between us and that event, but in a evolutionary time scale, it was just yesterday. Like, if the pain is still alive, people can remember it just like it was yesterday. So I mean, don't put it far away in the past either. I mean, keep it, become aware from that which you, I mean, awareness is half the battle, and then digestion is the second part of any trauma that occurs. But this is not a normal trauma. This is like, I want to understand the scale of the psychological trauma, because once I understand the scale of the psychological trauma, at least I can become aware of it, like how much devastation it caused, and then try to trace the, you know, root of that pain. That is the root of a lot of pain. Like, that literally birthed, like, the root of that pain was the atom bomb was the root of the pain. Like, that was the literally psychological turning point, which I believe like changed everything. Everything was literally just changed after that in countless ways. Um, and I've heard this before by people, and like I've put my own story together. I think the story of pain is the story that you should be aware of, and that's what kind of makes it real in a sense. It's like, I know the truth because I can feel that it's real. It's like, shit, this is like, I'm getting into some place that's like, I know it's real. I can just feel that the pain exists, because how could it not be real at that point? How could it not be um, the truth of our reality that this happened, like this terrible event? But it happened before I was born, but I can still empathetically put myself into the shoe. I can still, not intelligently, but empathetically assemble the pain of the past or something, like just bringing the past alive within the collective memory or something, and experiencing things for yourself. I think you can do that and be like, shit, this actually happened. And then you become a different type of aware. You become aware, like, oh shit, I don't want that to happen again. So, like, it's good to become aware of what has happened, that's for sure. But understanding the psychological impact of an event like that is hard to do. I mean, essentially, you could think of it like darkness struck the heart of innocence itself. I mean, that is what I was thinking. Like, but it didn't appear that way. You know what I mean? But all those people were innocent. But that's what we used. We used our awareness and our, like, we said darkness struck the heart of innocence itself, innocence and hope. I think darkness struck the heart of hope itself. That's what happened. It was like the darkness of our collective nature struck the heart of hope, which was America was the darkness. We embraced our, I don't know, we embraced the something terrible was going to happen, and then the hope, the innocent hope, was like Japan. But if you think about it as a more like an entire army just destroyed an innocent little girl, I think that's more of like well, that's terrifying. I mean, it's all terrifying to face, but an entire army destroyed a little girl. I mean, that wasn't Japan. Japan, it wasn't a little girl, but psychologically speaking, that was the impact. It's like an entire army bombed a little girl, and then what happened to that little girl in the human psyche? She hid. She's never going to return. In the human psyche of things, like you'll never see hope again after that. Like you'll never find her again. You know what I mean? It's like within the human psyche that hope that existed before, if she was just a little girl or something, you'll never find her again. She's gone forever. And I don't blame her. It's like I don't blame her for like if Hope was a little girl who was completely and she represented the repression of um, pain and suffering and what occurred psychologically after that. I think it can be seen as that. You know what I mean? It's like that little. I mean, like Hope itself was like hidden for the longest time after that because we didn't see much hope after that. I mean, it was we won the war and we were hopeful that things were going to get better and we weren't going to have to use any more nuclear bombs. But that wasn't the truth, though. The truth was we were less hopeful after that. It's like we weren't more hopeful that things were going to get better. We were less hopeful we were less hopeful and we thought things were going to get worse. I mean, that's what actually happened. The governments all were just like, okay, we're not going to have this ever again, and people just like got activated into craziness, which is just crazy. So I mean, that's where it really went, you know. It wasn't, oh, we're just going to be like now we're just hopeful for the future after this terrible thing has happened. It's like you can't be that naive to think everybody just became suddenly hopeful after a nuclear bomb was dropped. Like you didn't have any forethought. You didn't have any forethought after dropping that bomb, after dropping those bombs. Like you didn't think what it was going to do. It was more of like something that happened that wasn't really, I don't want to say in anybody's control, but I don't know, without those events, without those two events in the past, the dropping of those bombs and the psychological reverberation, we wouldn't be here today in a strange way. No one would have developed their, everyone developed their shadows because of that event. It's like after that, we all developed in a regular way, which was like the development of you developed your shadow after as like a luxury, and then which was the dark desires within yourself. It's like that hid a lot of dark desires or something. I don't know. It's strange because it's still so unclear the real impact of it. We don't know still. And we're still facing problems today, so we may never get a clear picture of what the devastation actually looks like, let alone finding people to face it. It's like you have to be insane to try to face the scope of the past. You have to be insane to face a bunch of people that are dead in the past. I only say that because I have an active imagination. It's like I can bring these people back to life. I swear to God. It's like I can imagine myself as that. I can quickly imagine. I can very quickly imagine people as, um, you know, I can just bring the past back to life like it was nobody's business. Like, not because I mean, like, it's not an ability, but it kind of has become like an ability of like bringing the dead back to life or something. Because I always find these realities and stories, and then I connect it to pain within my own being, and then at that middle point, I can find a place to, I mean, bring the story back to life, and then you piece all the puzzle pieces back together. I don't want to say my superpower is summoning the dead. But maybe it is. My superpower is summoning the dead. um, that's funny. That maybe that's what I should title this video. Summoning the dead. I'm gonna make a video about summoning the dead after this. Because I think it's possible. I mean, it's crazy, but it's possible. You're not summoning the dead. You're just you're allowing the past to flow through you in a way that gives you a clearer picture of the pain that has happened in history. It's like I'm not going to summon the dead. I mean, like, honestly, that might have to happen because some of those people have stories about like what actually happened, and if you ever want to get a clear picture of the history and maybe not be doomed to the future, then you might have to connect these dots for yourself and realize that, well, first realize what happened, and then, you know, there's so many stories that are hidden, that are people that are unable to be contacted, and people that are unable to be, I don't know, people who are unable to be, um, yeah, contacted and like brought back to life because their circumstances and situations are hidden, and you never get a clear picture of what's really happened because there's people that are missing and people and stories that are hidden, and bringing those people back to life in like a psychological way, like connecting the dots of like, okay, there's like a psychological gap here, or like a gap between these two events, and we don't know what happened in the middle. It's like you have to bring this person back to life if you ever want to know what actually happened. Now I'm just talking about bringing people back to life and like summoning the dead and like placing yourself into those dark places that those people who died found themselves in. That's the hardest part. It's like if you want to bring the dead back to life and face the past of human history, then you summon them and embody what they were feeling at a point when no one realized that they were feeling that. Which is to say, I haven't gotten good at it, but I mean, kind of. It's like I only go for I only to assemble the history of pain. That's the truth of how you would go about that. It's like there's a gap in the pain. There was never any consistent pain. I mean, there's consistent pains which are like growth and things like that. So when there's a gap in pain, then I'm really skeptical. It's like usually people are experiencing this. So I don't know. Anyway, the scope and the scale of pain is hard to face in anybody's life. I mean, over any psychological movements and stuff. Like, I've gotten pretty good at it though. I've gotten pretty good at imagining. It's like I trust my imagination enough to dive into any darkness. I trust my soul enough to be a light in any darkness. And I haven't been able to face all darkness. Like, no one can do that, really. There's just too much. There's too much darkness to face alone. Um, there's too much darkness to face alone. You can never face everything alone. And that's why we love each other. Because there's people. Because we're human and we love each other and we just love. That's why we love. But anyway, yeah, I've been exploring the darkness for a while now. And there's dark things down there. But that was the birth of a lot of them, You can trace a lot of the if you get a clear picture of what happened with the atom bombs, then that's the heart of the fear and the heart of the terror is those atom bombs. Like if we realized physically, like now we're back to some physical nature of like, okay, physically speaking, we need to literally decommission all these bombs and make them inaccessible. Like that would be the first job of like, I don't know. I don't know who. Google or something? Google would be the first person that I'd go to and be like, you guys got to decommission all these bombs, right? You did that, right? And then you made everybody aware that you did that. That's what I would be like. That's what I would guess would be the company that would do something like that and save the world. But I mean, I don't know if they will. It's more of like a personal problem now. It's like all these guys are just like and girls are you know unaware of the bigger reality, and you become aware of yourself to become aware of the bigger reality, which is people are important, people are full of love, and everyone is unique, and everyone has a story, and we're all connected. So seeing a war like the Ukraine war now is a completely different experience. We experienced it all. I think we experienced we experienced this war like it was closer than ever. Like in the past, we didn't have any clear communication with the people that we loved as they went to war. Now we do. Now we realize like everything is connected. This war was like very close. It was like right in your face. Like, okay, there's a war going on. It's like you couldn't escape it because there was nothing. There was clearly something. I mean, the death of 15,000 people was pretty bad. What really matters though is what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next is bigger. It's bigger than the Ukraine war. Ukraine war is kind of like 15,000 people is devastating, but I refuse to let that get to me. I'm not going to let that get to me. I'm not going to let it stop me from going about my day. I have to face people and be like, okay, I see that you're distraught. There's like a, all this stuff that you might or might not be aware of because I don't even know anymore because everybody gets their own news and own information online. Who knows if we're all aware of the same reality? No doubt there's people that don't even know the war's going on or anything happened. Um, but we don't want to repeat the same thing over again. That's what we don't want, like World War II or something. Because next time, World War III, it'll be much worse. Like, that's why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted people to understand the psychological impact and scale of atom bombs and nuclear weapons. And that's not the only weapons that we have these days. Now there's completely new things, new wars like cyber war and artificial intelligence war. But artificial intelligence war is where it ends. It's like either we make artificial intelligences that are way more powerful than us. This is where all of it ends because there's no there's nothing you can do after that, or there's something you can do. Like, either you make it, or you make artificial intelligences, or you don't. I mean, I don't know. I believe that they were made already. It's only a matter of time before the human psyche fails again. Maybe that's what it actually was, like a failure of the human psyche. We allowed ourselves to become that darkness that instilled fear into the heart of hope when we dropped that bomb. It's like we allowed ourselves to scar ourselves and damage ourselves in that way. It's like everybody was affected by it was like inside everybody was affected. Like it was like the bomb was a physical reality, but everybody was a part of that physical reality, so everybody felt it inside. The whole world felt like, oh shit. Like everybody was just like completely thrown out of alignment with any universe. There was probably temporal dissonance, no, temporal dislocation or something by people who were really terrified of what happened, because they might have realized it a lot faster at a deeper level, which was like, I don't know, temporal dissonance or something. Like, I don't want to know time. Time exists because it's like a timeline and stuff, because people believe in it. I don't really believe in time. I don't think time doesn't actually exist. I've always felt that time has not existed. It's like I'm just here as I don't know, a medium to channel some of these negative vibrations that I'm feeling and try to make sense of them for my own psyche. But I never believe in time. I don't think time exists. Like, I exist beyond time, and I will never believe in time again. I mean, space too. It's like, I believe in space, and I believe in people, and I respect people's space, and I respect people's time too. But that doesn't mean I believe in time. Time is just time has always been a negative experience for me. It's like, I see that this video is 37 minutes long. Now I'm kind of getting anxious that nobody's going to watch it. Nobody is going to watch it anyway, but 37 minutes is a long video. Now it's like, it's just like a limit. It's just like a boundary you put on yourself of how big you can become or something. It's like you put a boundary of like 37 minutes is like this big a video or something, and then like an hour long video is like this big, and then you got a lot more time to get rowdy in there or something. It's like time and space are the same. Time and space are connected. You can never have time without space or space without time. So anyway, I'm getting a deeper understanding of the psychological impact of what happened. We only let ourselves see what actually happened when we realize it first. It did happen, and then yeah. I mean, it's hard to put the puzzle pieces back together, because it feels like the bomb really fractured our psyche. It was like hope was fractured, and hope was burst into a million pieces. And if you try to put her back together, I mean, I know it's kind of crazy, but if you try to put her back together, like the universe, like if you, I don't believe in a living universe. Like, this is unconscious. Like, this guitar isn't alive without me. But I mean, what really happened was, the I don't know, fragmentation of hope itself. That's hard as fuck. Like, that's hard as fuck. I mean, the fragmentation of hope itself occurred, and it was everyone, there was no collective hope left. All that happened, hope was internalized or something, and it was not internalized, but it was like, I don't know, everybody had their own hope instead of some hope of the future, which was like the start of, you know, it feels like we were less individualized in the past than we are today. That's what I was getting at with the um, everybody becomes more unique and individualized as we grow and change as a society and as a civilization and as a people. And we find reference with ourselves. We find reference to ourselves, from ourself, meaning that to become an individual, you have to have a reference. It's like the two people who are farthest away, psychologically speaking, are the two people that have, you know, the best reference upon themselves. It's like, oh yeah, you're way over there still. I'm way over here. I know you're way over there, and I'm way over here, so I have a reference to who I am, what I am, and then I get, a better feeling of who I am, and I become more of myself, which is true for everybody. You become more of yourself as you realize who you are, and as you see yourself. I mean, realizing who you are is just seeing yourself. But to see the depth of yourself is often scary because you never knew how much has happened in human history. And everything is connected. So it's like you never saw the depth of your being, the depth of the human psyche, the depth of things as they are today, which is scary. I mean, it's something that we have to face, but we have to face it together. But awareness is half the battle. It's like, what do you have to be aware of? You know what you have to be aware of. It's like, you know what the world's like. You know what the world's gonna do to you. You know how you have to be aware in the world. You know how you have to, you know, face the world and the darknesses that arise and new challenges, and, everything happens for a reason. Um, I don't know the reason behind some things, but I'm trying to make them. It's like we have to be creative enough to make new reasons for why things happen, but don't like in a way that's like, oh, I'm not trying to like cover it up. Like something happened, now I'm trying to make it something that's not. No, just use the past to be more aware. But you can use the past in creative ways to justify very much anything. You can find anything to justify anything. But being a good person, I mean, love is about balance, though. I think that's what we really need right now is balance, because we've been we've been finding balance slowly. Finding balance is scary too. It's like I don't want like a normal, balanced, stable, like normal life that just resembles something that's happened a billion times with from a billion people who have like gone to work and then got a job and then watch TV and have like a normal little life. Like I don't want that. I never did. I mean, I never I never I mean, this is like a thing. It's like I don't want to be normal. I don't want to be the same as everyone, but the only reason that anyone is unique is because there's some similarity between people. I mean, you have to acknowledge that normal people are the reference to your uniqueness if you're a unique person. So, you, I mean, try to change them, but then what are you going to do when everybody's unique? I mean, that's that's what you should be hopeful for, that everybody becomes unique. But I still think we're faced with a lot of normal people, and it's like that's always been a problem. But eventually, maybe it won't be. Maybe we could be. Maybe technology allows us to become individuals, and then we open up more, and we find that everything is just better because we realize ourselves in other people, and stories unfold, and things happen, and it's better. Um, it would be better if we allowed ourselves to become individuals and realize our own uniqueness. But doing that is often, a process in becoming yourself. And a personality is my personality is like different than your personality, but it's something you have to develop for yourself. It's like I develop my own personality, I develop my own identity, I develop my own. I develop everything. I mean, I like to be as independent as possible, except then money gets in my way, and then it's like, well, I can't be as independent as I thought I was. But honestly, right now I'm just like depressed and trying to stay alive because I can't face reality right now. Like I can face reality. I can face reality, but I can't face my. No, I can't. What do I want to say? I I'm just trying to stay alive and face the reality of money because if I become any more aware of um, not become any more aware, but I mean, yeah, if I have another shitty job, I refuse to get another shitty job. I think I'll probably kill myself before I get another shitty job and do something that I have already done before, which is just like try to get a job, make some money, and then die. I mean, like, it doesn't sound worth it to me. It's just not worth it to make money. It's like I don't know what money is beyond time. I don't believe in time. It's like I don't believe time exists. So what am I actually selling for you? What am I even doing for you? Like if I'm working for you, like you have to be aware of what I'm actually doing there. Like I don't even know what I'm doing here. I don't even care if I live like another day. I could happily die today. Like I wouldn't care. I just don't care anymore. I care a little bit, but not that much. Like if I died tomorrow, that would be the end. That would be the end. It would be like, okay. I had a life. I thought, I imagined, I tried, and then everything went to shit. I mean, that's fine. I don't care. Like I just don't care. I care a little bit because I want to because I'm just a curious human who's capable of facing a large amount of darkness. And in that regard, it's just interesting and fun to go surfing around the collective conscious and unconscious and try to piece things together of what's happening, what will happen, and what people are thinking and believing and stuff like that. But if you realize time doesn't exist, then you have all the time in the world. I don't know why I would go and get a job. I mean, that's something that people have been yelling at me to do. Like, go get a job. It's like I don't even believe in time anymore, so I'm not going to do that. If you want me to leave this house, this is my mom's house, then I will. But if you if you don't, then just I don't know. I don't know. It's it's strange. It's just strange. Um, what is money beyond time, other than the pain you used to suppress people? I don't know. I mean, like, I want more money. Don't get me wrong. I want more money because I want to be with people. It's like if I don't have any money, I can't be with you. But that's it, though. That's the only reason I really want money is to feel like I'm a part of something. It's like if I wasn't a part of reality, no, not reality, but money is many people's reality. So if you're not a part of money, then you're not a part of that time that exists because of what money created, which was, a big system of working class people, which is fine. I mean, we hope that they're not gonna just be normal working class people who just die and don't have anything better to do. I mean, I don't know. Normal people scare me, but unique people often scare me too because they're diving into the unknown and they don't know what they're doing, which is artists and people who are just beautiful because they're doing that. But and that pulls people and encourages people to become individuals. But then you make a full 180 and you're just like, actually, I just want something stable. I don't even want that anymore. It's like, I want, I want that. I want to be an individual and like, but I don't care about the internet. Like, the internet is just a cesspool of like people who are trying to boost their egos, and it just doesn't feel right. So I'm just kind of placing myself outside of it. I'm just like, I'm outside of the internet. I'm out. I'm out. I don't want to be a part of it. If the internet is the only future that humanity has, and it's just one possibility that everyone gets sucked into, then I'll just die and be forgotten because I don't. I didn't. I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I don't know anymore. I just. Uh, things have. Oops. Things have developed so fast that it's hard to know what the best move is moving into the future. I mean, I don't believe in the future though, so I'm just gonna make that clear. No matter what happens, I don't believe in time. I just don't. I've experienced too much pain to believe in time. It's like after some point, you don't want time to exist because you've experienced too much pain. It's like I've brought too much history to life. I've experienced too much loneliness. I've experienced too much of this pain. Now I'm just out of pain. It's like I'm out of it. I don't have any more left. I don't have any pain left to give you. I don't have any pain. I don't have any pain anyway. Like I feel fine. I'm just aware, but I don't have any pain left to give you. I don't have any pain left to embody. I don't have any pain left to cry about. I don't have any pain. You know what I mean? I just don't have any pain. So it's a good thing to not be in pain. No one wants to be in pain and no one wants to suffer. But it's also strange thinking that other people will be in pain even though I'm not in pain. It's like you don't have to be in pain just because other people are in pain. Definitely set your clear boundaries. A lot of people have problems with that. But money is, I don't know, money is strange because it is often pain. It's like you have to work for money. So the boundaries of pain should be stated clearly. It's like if you own money, then from a purely pain universe, like everything is just pain, then what is money? It's like I own this much pain. I can force, I mean, not force, but like I can make these people work at a moment's notice because I have this much pain. It's like you have that amount of, you own that amount of potential pain. I mean, that's kind of dark, but I don't know how else to face it other than I have no perceived. It's like I should have a certain amount of pain. I think I do have a certain potential to make pain for people in the universe. It's like I have that potential to be imaginative and to be creative and unique, and I am an individual. So, I mean, like, but I'm still valued because I haven't made enough money. I'm still valued because I haven't made enough money. It's like you value me. I don't know. People see you differently because you don't have enough money. It's like that's that shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't be deceived by just feel who somebody is from the inside. Don't feel like don't feel the money. Money is an illusion. It's like if there's no like I'm worth like $1 million and suddenly I'm just a cute guy. and then somebody who's worth $1 is suddenly just a giant fat guy on the road. Like, that's not true. There's no, but people are distorted like that. It's like, you're distorting me. Why are you distorting me? I want you to see me clearly in all of my beauty and wonder and eternal essence. And that's what everybody wants. So don't be deceived when somebody pretends that you're, don't be surprised when someone pretends that you look different or appear different because they are being deceived themselves. It's like, if you have a number over your head, or like, we've all decided that we're illusionists. It's like, I am an illusionist. I'm pretty good with illusions. Like, I can imagine and elude people fine, I'm I'm like I'm fine with people pretending that they're worth a certain amount of money, but it doesn't equal your potential. It's like, there's a disconnect with people. It's like, if I'm worth this much money, I must be better than all of these people who don't have money. It's like, no, you just found yourself in a situation where it's like, and I'm going to make it clear for you that that is going to what it's going to be. It's like, as we become aware, you might realize your money isn't what you wanted it to be. It's like, oh shit, I thought I was gonna like do all this stuff. Then you'll just lose all that. You'll lose all your ideas and you'll lose everything. It's like, everything happens because it needs to happen. People definitely need to lose money. Like, some people who have money, like idiots who have money, who own like tons of things. It's like, yes, there's freedom to for idiots to own a bunch of money. And there's a beauty in that because that's part of America. It's like, yep, you're stupid and you own a bunch of money. Congratulations. But money shouldn't mean anything, though. And I don't believe in time. So what are you frustrated about? It's like, why am I getting frustrated? For no reason. It's like, I have nothing to worry about. I just don't. I don't have any worries. I don't even have any fear. Like, what fear do I have? I can't. The only fear that I have is fear that I would imagine for myself. But why would I imagine fear for myself? It's like, I don't want to imagine any more fear. No one does. I don't want to imagine any more scary scenarios for myself, any situational realities for myself, any crazy things that I've imagined. I don't want to imagine any of that. And I don't want to put myself in the place of becoming trapped in my mind like that again. Why would I? It's like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never trapping myself in a place of pain and suffering again. Why would I? Especially if I feel good. It's like, when you feel good, then just feel good. But there's tons of people who believe I can't feel good because I don't have money. It's like, that's the reality I'm facing now. It's like, I feel it right here. It's like, you're like, okay, you can't feel good anymore because you don't have any money. It's like, no, that's not true at all. It never has been true. It's like, just because, that's never been true. That's your belief, though. I can feel it, embody it, and then analyze it, and then understand your belief. It's like, I understand your belief. You believe this for this reason because it's easier to believe than to know. It's like, you have to know the truth. Believing something isn't knowing. I have no reason to believe I know. Which is what Carl Jung said, and I really took that to heart. And belief is nothing compared to knowing. Believing isn't anything compared to knowing. It's like, I believe. I think I believe. Belief has doubt inherent within it, but knowing doesn't. Pure knowing is not belief. I know. It's like, I know. I know time doesn't exist because I've experienced eternal things before. So join me in this eternal dream, or don't. I don't really. I mean, I care. I'm also a human. It's like I exist at this strange place. It always feels like I've been bouncing in between like an eternal and human state, which has been very strange for me. Because it's like I want to remain human and I just want to do human things, but I also want to be. I want to find my spiritual. I want to ascend the spiritual heights and become enlightened and stuff. But it's nothing that you have to. Time doesn't exist, honestly. It just doesn't. So just stop yourself from believing that time exists and know that it doesn't. And that's true for everyone. It's like what you're really doing is something completely different than you think you're doing. When you're making money and you're watching the clock and you're just like, time is going by, time is going by. I just don't, and things get scarier and you start to realize things and shit happens. And then I know because I experienced it myself. It was like I had like 8 shitty jobs and it sucks, but I don't know what you can really do about it. I mean, you can just realize yourself into a different place and realize what you're making yourself out to be. But I refuse to do that many times. It's like if there's going to be further darkness and people becoming even darker, it's like I want to join that. I want to go to the depths of what is possible and to the depths of the darkness because it's unsafe to live in the light while people are descending into darkness or live in a false reality and start to believe stuff like that. So I've always gone with the people. Like I've always like not that I could even do anything different. It's just like my empathetic mind has been like, okay, well, at least I'm part of something that is occurring or like some darker reality or something because I don't know. I've always thought I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm not really trying to say anything anymore. I guess I'm just trying to say that this is all related to the psychological impact of things that have happened. I don't know if I got a clear image of the psychological impact of nuclear bombs, but much of it is hidden and much of it is still a mystery. So, that's reality. And I hate when people are unaware. I mean, like, I don't hate when people are unaware, but it's like, please just be aware of what's actually happening and stop eluding yourself. Stop believing and start knowing. Either way, it'll be better. It's like if you start knowing that bad things are going to happen, or if you start knowing that you're inherently eternal, like that's the thing. It's like, will you understand your eternal nature and get closer to that, or will you descend further into darkness and start pretending things that aren't real? It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter ultimately. Time doesn't exist. Do whatever you want, but I hope you join me in being happy because this is where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be happy, and I'm gonna be yeah. I'm just gonna be happy. Like either way, I'm going to be happy because I make my own happiness. Time from within. Time and space are within me. I don't have any obligations to anybody. I mean, I have obligations. I want to find more people who I can be with and who share my beliefs that they are eternal because I want somebody to love forever. I don't think that's wrong. I want somebody to love forever because I don't know. Why wouldn't I want somebody to love forever? So how can I find that, you know? I don't know. I want somebody to love forever. Beyond time, you know? You can if I love somebody forever, I love them beyond time. and beyond space. So yeah, I love beyond time and space. My love goes beyond time and space. I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, thank God, love exists, and there's enough love to sustain everyone. Everything is essentially love at the heart of it all. So, if you just realize that, maybe you'll step out of the darkness and come into the light of being, which is all around us. So, that's a good thing. Anyway, I mean, I'm just sick of going over the same stuff over and over again. And it's kind of just bullshit. I don't know what else to do. I need money because I want money. But if I don't want it like a greedy little bastard, then it becomes hard to compete with the people who do want it like a greedy little bastard. So then you have to just become and embody a greedy little bastard. But then you're in places that are then you're in a place that is what do I want to say? You're in a place that is I don't believe it. You're in a place that is you're in a place that is yeah, I don't know. I guess that'll be the end of this video. Okay, the psychological impact and scope and scale of World War II, those bombs, and the continuation of the production of those bombs and everything. I think just be aware of it, because then maybe we'll find ourselves. I don't know. Just be aware. Okay. Okay. Bye bye.